Hello, the Internet. This is The Law of the Prince Charming, Chapter 2.3. Tabitha follows the wizard and the man in black back through the halls of the castle to the foyer where she first entered. They do not see another demon, and she is more thankful for it than she would have admitted. "We got off on the wrong foot," the man in black says. "I am the Black's huntsman." "I am the Prince of Redstone," Tabitha says, inclining her head. "It's late. I can offer you a room for the night." "Inside the castle? Is that a threat?" Tabitha knows her decorum is suffering, but she doesn't particularly care right now. "You'll be safe," the huntsman's voice is terse. "I'm just trying to be a good host. Good hosts don't let demons attack their guests." The huntsman balled his fists and takes a step forward. "Wait, a simple no would have sufficed," the wizard says. "You don't have to stay." Tabitha leaves quickly through the front door, stepping down the stairs to the ground. When she turns to look, there's just a wagon sitting by the side of the road. She can still see the flickering black eyes of the demon copy of herself in her mind, the eyes that had looked right through her. She can't believe they thought she would stay in there with those mythics. Night is already settling over the forest around her. The gelding has been tied nearby, enjoying what grass he can reach. Tabitha leans against his neck, breathing in his familiar smell for a few minutes before she untacks him and sets up camp at what she determines to be a safe distance from the wagon. But by the time she has a fire going, night is firmly in place. Tabitha struggles to remove her armor without assistance and finally lays the pieces to the side. She wraps her hooded cloak around her shoulders. There's a deeper chill in the area than she's used to. She sits by the fire and opens her bags until she finds the packed rations. She pulls out an apple. The sight of it immediately makes her think of home, and she frowns as her mother's words come back to her. "If you fail, don't bother to come back." Tabitha's fist tightens on the apple. She had failed. She can't go back and face the queen, much less her kingdom. "I knew I wasn't a good enough prince." Tabitha stands and throws the apple as hard as she can with a frustrated yell. She turns back to the fire only to see the wizard standing behind her. "Aiming for anything in particular?" he asks. Tabitha glares at him before sitting down. He seats himself across the fire from her. "You're still here." "It's too dark to travel," Tabitha replies, "and hopefully those demons stay inside the castle." "They do," the wizard replies. "Why did you come after me?" "I came for my sword." Tabitha takes a drink from her wineskin. "And yet, before I had mentioned it last night, I doubt you were even aware you had it. You were more upset about the fact that you failed than that you lost the sword." "That's not true." "It is true," he replies instantly. There's no question in his voice. It is, to him, a simple statement of fact. Tabitha sighs. "The queen told me not to come back if I failed to get the sword." The wizard scoffs. "Of course she did." Tabitha looks up at him and he meets her gaze. "Are you aware how unusual it is for you to be a female prince?" Tabitha feels the instinctive response to deny being female, but he knows the truth. Somehow he knows, and part of her is relieved to hear someone admit it. "Unusual how?" "Male royals are raised as princes, and females as princesses. Now there are laws where a girl dresses as a boy, but the queen, and likely the king, knew of this disparity, so I doubt that's what happened." "They needed an heir," Tabitha replies. "A princess can't inherit a kingdom." "Well, true, it seems a rather extreme solution. It also doesn't explain how—" He trails off, looking toward the fire for a few moments. When he speaks again, he fixes her with his gaze. "What do you know about wizards?" She hesitates. "They can use magic, and they're dangerous." The wizard smirks. "Right, I can use magic. And what can I do with magic?" "Wizards can make all kinds of unnatural things happen, whatever they wish." "Okay, so if I can do all that, how do you think you were able to follow me?" "A guardsman saw which way you were going." "A normal, mundane guardsman just happened to see a wizard who was sneaking away. And you happened to pick all the right roads. And you caught up after being several hours behind, all while on a horse who has seen younger days." Tabitha glances back at the gelding. "It's just a coincidence." "There is no coincidence when it comes to magic." "Then you wanted me to follow you?" "No, most decidedly no." "So if I shouldn't have been able to follow you, and you didn't want me to follow you, then how was I able to?" "If I had to guess, which I am, your laws are pushing for it." "My what?" "The laws of your fairy tale." Tabitha stares at him in confusion. "So you don't know?" The wizard raises an eyebrow. "Interesting. You called it a quest, and your mother—" "I just assumed you knew about the fairy tales." "I mean, I've read them, but what does that have to do with anything?" The wizard chuckles softly. "No, I mean how the fairy tales are real and play themselves out in the world." Tabitha frowns. "You're lying." "I don't lie." "Don't?" She looks at him more closely. Are you a fae? Anger flashes across his face, marring its beauty. No, I'm a storyteller, and the tales are my job. Tabitha scoffs. Storytellers are just glorified bards who happen to be good at killing mythics. Yes, we are that. We also watch over the tales. So you're trying to tell me I'm part of a fairy tale, and it's happening right now? Yes. Which one? That I don't know, but you are a prince with the law of the Prince Charming. The queen can't have thought you would get the sword back, though. It's too important to us. Fine, but if she expected me to fail, then why send me at all? Perhaps she thought you would find another quest. The wizard trails off, no longer looking at her, but at a place only he can see as his thoughts churn. This is not a fairy tale, it's real life. The wizard shrugs. Sometimes it can be both. I don't believe you. And there's nothing I can say that will make you. You're either going to decide that I'm trying to trick you, and we'll part ways, or you're going to decide that maybe it really is too many coincidences, and that you're interested enough to follow us tomorrow to see if it's true. He looks at her more closely. And maybe you already have. Do you always talk like that? Tabitha asks. Like what? Like you know everything, you just have to explain it to everyone else. His smile is dazzling. Yes.